Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rohit Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits. In recent times I have made videos on Saturn's retrograde transit in the sign of Pisces and also Ketu's transit in Purva Falguni Nakshatra in the sign of Leo. Today this topic is about Sun's transit in the sign of Cancer, which is Karaka Sankranti. That is going to happen on 16th of July, and Sun is going to stay in the sign of Cancer till 16th of August. On August 17, it enters its own and also the Mool Trikon sign of Leo. So Sun is already moving in a little bit of an exciting space in the sign of Cancer before it enters its own sign. Now Sun in Cancer is Varuna Aditya. He rules the water element when it is in the sign of Cancer. Sun has the power to punish. It controls the water element, it controls the public when it is making a transit in the sign of Cancer. It is a very good and a clear message for us to nurture and also show affection, nurture things related to our home that make us feel happy. There's also an excellent time for spiritual practice, for a cult, because the natural sign of Cancer is the first Moksha Bhava. 4, 8, 12, these are the watery signs and these represent spirituality, moksha, liberation. Sun in Cancer is also an excellent time for any activity-based profession. So if your profession is anyway closely related to any form of activities or it involves a lot of movement, it is an excellent time. Resources are going to be favorable for you. Now during this transit, Sun is going to be conjoined with Mercury, forming a Budh Aditya Yoga in the sign of Cancer. Mercury will also go retrograde or Vakri. It will also come under combustion when it is within 3 to 4 degrees with the Sun. So that is a double whammy kind of a situation for Mercury. So we could expect communication gaps. We could expect revisit of matters related to Mercury and Sun and their lordship in your chart. And of course, I'm going to explain it to you based on your ascendant sign or the moon sign, how to read this transit and what you can expect. See, Sun's annual transit for us gives a key message around the focus areas of life. So a monthly transit, and Sun is very consistent in terms of making its transit. So the clear message for us is what are some of the areas that we should focus on where resources are favorable or where we could have certain challenges when it comes to resources, authority. Sun is our ego, it is our self-esteem, it is our identity. So it plays a very important role in our life. It is pure fire. And during this transit, it is going to be aspecting the sign of Capricorn by the 7th aspect of desire. Sun's aspect is a bit tricky because it also blinds that house. So you have to put in extra efforts with regards to matters pertaining to that house. It purifies the matters pertaining to the house it makes transit, and also the house it is aspecting. So you could expect a lot of purification with regards to negative matters of the sign of Cancer and also of the sign of Capricorn that I'm going to explain it to you based on your ascendant or the moon sign. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon sign. So Sun becomes your 5th house ruler. It is a very important planet for you. It is a Yoga Karaka or one of the most favorable planets because it rules the house of future, your children, positional success. It becomes your Mantresha, rules the mantra bhavas. Whether mantra based remedies will work for you or not is very much dependent on the placement of Sun and the kind of yogas it forms. It also represents corruption because with power comes corruption, and 5th house is one of the Rajya Bhava or represents kingdom. Sun also shares a friendly relationship with your Lagna Lord Mars. Now this time Sun is going to be making a transit in your 4th house in the sign of Cancer, and it will be conjoined with Mercury. Mercury is also going to go retrograde. So definitely it is going to bring in karmic repercussions with regards to matters pertaining to this house and also the lordship of Mercury and Sun. Mercury becomes the 3rd house lord and Sun becomes the 5th house lord. Now you need to reconnect with matters related to the 4th house, with your mother, with your homeland, or reconnection is required with regards to your home, your safe space, your comfort space. You have to set your priorities very straight. See, Sun is considered to be in a weak disposition when it is making a transit in the 4th house. It gains directional strength in the 10th house, and 4th house, it is losing direction. There's zero direction. So some projects with regards to your home, real estate, where your mother could also be involved. And of course, you need to revisit some past decisions that you took with regards to your house, your real estate, your assets, your vehicles, and you need to take some corrective steps. This time period could also cause some sort of ego issue at home, miscommunication at home, or some sort of misunderstanding. So make sure that you're very clear when you're communicating with people at your home. You could expect emotional level mood swings over the course of next few weeks, but this is one time wherein you have to stay grounded, because you will not be very egoistic during this time. So this is very good. Sun is aspecting your 10th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So it is going to kill all the negative influences, office politics, and any high level issues that you've been facing. Now it is going to come down, and Sun will help you focus on building credible relationships with those people who hold an authority. So for that point, it is a favorable transit. For seeking support of the wider public, wider people, and the society, it is a favorable time period for you. You need to step out of your comfort zone, connect with the wider audience, and make sure that you do something which you're not comfortable at intentionally. Otherwise, there will be projects, assignment, and work that will be pushed to you. You will have a renewed focus on your health and vitality, because when Mercury goes retrograde, you will be forced to change your lifestyle and adopt some good habits. So you can take some conscious steps in order to improve your health and vitality, which will be the focus of the hour for the next 4 weeks. Please look at remedying Jupiter in your chart, your Bhagyesha, and at the same time, moon related remedies will be absolutely good for you, because he is the dispositor of the 4th house towards the end of the day. And I wish you the very best. Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs. At the physical level, you should read this from your ascendant. At the mental level, you should read this from your moon sign. Sun becomes the 4th house lord, the ruler of your comfort space, safe space, your happy space, mother, homeland, your assets, real estate, property. Now Surya Dev is going to be making a transit in your 3rd house of valor, courage, efforts. We see siblings, particularly younger co-born from this house. This house also represents journeys. Short journeys is something which is seen. So your 3-9 axis is going to be pretty active all throughout the time, because Sun, who will be conjoined Mercury, who momentarily is in a comfortable position in the 3rd house, Sun is also in a comfortable position. It might not be in the comfortable sign, a very compassionate sign of Cancer, but from a house point of view, it promotes growth. Sun and Mercury are forming a Buddha-Aditya yoga in your 3rd house of learning. So you must invest in learning something new, short courses, or if you were to take a short journey or some sort of travel that is connected to your learning, it could be a very good time period for you. Sun has a 7th aspect on your 9th house of Dharma, Bhagya, long journeys, spiritual education. So this time period definitely can open more avenues when it comes to educating yourself at the spiritual level and higher education too. Any efforts that you will put, you will see results for those efforts. This time period supports creative writing, journaling, and anything that you do using your hands. You must invest and put your energies in all such pursuits. You would also like to reconnect with your siblings. In case you've had some distance or you've had some conflict, you will put some efforts to resolve those conflicts. While you're traveling, you have to be a little bit careful, because you could have some issues, maybe some communication gap, maybe some technology related issues. So you have to be a little bit careful with any delays there. You might also go through some unnecessary document, some unnecessary travel, and some sort of communication issues that you could face that could be technological in nature over the course of next few weeks. So be very careful while working, while being on virtual calls, while making important presentations. So you have to be a little bit careful there. This time period promotes self-nurturing and at the same time newfound efforts. Anything new that you'd like to start, this could be a potentially favorable time for you. Make sure that you keep your ego aside and you do not develop a know-it-all attitude. Journal, and that is an ideal remedy for you for the next 4 weeks. Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, you will read this from your moon sign. Sun, Surya Dev, is now going to be entering your second house in the sign of Cancer for the next 1 month, starting 16th of July. Here it will come in contact with Mercury or Buddha, who is your Lagnesha, your Lord of the Ascendant. So both of them will be forming a Buddha Aditya Yoga in the second house. Mercury will also go retrograde or Vakri. I made a separate video on that. But here, this time period is very useful when it comes to reconnecting with family ties, family bonds, networking, friends, and also making some financial plans, rethinking and re-evaluating certain financial decisions that you took in the past and how you can make some corrective steps in terms of these decisions. And an excellent time to spend with your family, because you're going to heal together when you spend some time together, mentally as well as physically and emotionally. You will have some valuable insights to share with people which are driven by ethics. So your ethics quotient is going to be quite high over the next 4 weeks. But one thing that you must avoid during this time is, because it brings a lot of fiery energy, and Mercury, when it goes retrograde, it is looking back at your ascendant, it is trying to re-evaluate your decisions. Avoid harsh tone or harsh speech, because once you call out the words, you cannot take back those words, and that could be misinterpreted. That could create a sense of confusion and conflict with other people. So be very careful before you speak. Sun is making an aspect on your 8th house by the 7th aspect of desire. It desires purity in your transformation. It desires consistency in anything that you do to transform yourself. It wants you to overcome your weaknesses. It is killing, it is burning the weaknesses or the Nija dosha by making this aspect. Your 2-8 axis is pretty active. So for spiritual pursuits, it is good. Invest and of course channelize your ego in spiritual pursuits, in spiritual practices, in yoga, sadhana, meditation, and please re-evaluate your finances and your family ties. And at the same time, this might not be the favorable time to make some big decisions in your life over the next 4 weeks. So take it easy, and this could also bring some positive change in your dietary requirement, which could support your health and well-being. Use mantra-based remedies, remedy Mercury, use a simple Vishnu mantra, that is Om Vishnave Namah, in order to maximize this transit. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. Sun's transit in the sign of Cancer. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant. At the mental level, you will read this from your moon sign. So what is happening there is Sun is coming in your Lagna. This is a kind of opportunity that you get only once in a year for about 1 month's time, when Sun is making an entry in your Lagna. Sun is the significator, the natural Karaka, the natural Chara Atma Karaka, that represent soul, that represent the ascendant. So it is a powerful position. Sun is in great dignity. It represents ego, authority, vitality, immunity, all those things related to the ascendant. So it's an excellent time for self-reflection, for redefining your thoughts, your voices, and your self-image, because this Sun will be conjoined with Mercury. Mercury gains directional strength in the Lagna, in the ascendant, but it will go retrograde. So this is a time for rethinking, re-evaluating your self-image and how you can consciously improve. See, ego is sitting in your ascendant. There is a beautiful Buddha Aditya Yoga that is there. So any learning that you take during this time is going to be highly beneficial. Learn about religion, learn about dharma, learn about higher education, and of course, learn more about how you can improve your leadership and also your communication, how you can build your emotional intelligence, because you will be emotionally very strong during this time. Health and vitality is going to improve. You will have a greater focus on your immunity, on your habits, and how you can bring in a sense of consistency in your life. You could feel a bit overwhelmed over the next few weeks, so make sure that you don't have a burnout kind of a situation, because you will have too many things to do and you will feel that there is very little time to do those tasks or those things, and you would want to probably be in an achievement centric kind of a mode. Sun is aspecting your 7th house by the 7th aspect of desire. Sun demands loyalty in your relationship, in your partnership, and it is trying to burn all the negative significance of the 7th house, which also represents war, which also represents your high sense of desire. So that is something which Sun tries to control and channelize. There is a chance that you have wealth creating opportunities for yourself because Sun is your second lord, making a transit in the first house. And at the same time, you must worship Lord Shiva to maximize from this transit. Every year when Sun makes a transit in your ascendant, in your Lagna, every day you must worship Lord Shiva to maximize. Use the simple Panchakshari mantra, that is Namah Shivaya, and he is the one who will guide you and protect you. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. So what is happening? Sun is making a transit in the sign of Cancer, your lord of Lagna. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant. At the mental level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So this Surya's transit is happening in your 12th house in the sign of Cancer, the very emotional sign of Cancer, right? The watery sign, which also rules water element. Now, 12th house represents your dreams, your aspiration, also your spiritual awakening. It represents your inner depth and also your self-consciousness. It also represents foreign connections. So you will have a lot of insight into everything, insight into dreams, into spiritual awakening, into building foreign connections, because this Sun is conjoined Mercury, who is the significator of communication and who rules your 2nd and the 11th house, connected with your Lagna. You have to watch out your expenditure because there could be a rise in your expenditure. But I always say when expenditure rise, so would rise your income. But you have to spend on dharma, spend on good deeds. And if you're spending on your family, on good deeds, on dharma, on foreign travel, this could bring some sort of benefit for you. It could be beneficial for those people who probably work in the back office or work behind the scenes. You are not in the forefront of things. So if you have a work that involves sitting at a desk and doing some back office work, and of course not being at the forefront, not facing the customers, not facing the people, it could be quite an excellent time for such people. There could be some disruption in your sleep, so you have to take care of it. Mercury will be looking back at your 11th house and trying to help you think about how you can have more gains in your life, how you can improve your financial position. But you have to be wary of the fact that you could end up miscommunicating with a lot of people in your life. See, Sun is Maran Karaka, or it is a death-like position in the 12th house. So here, either father or father figure or some sort of an elderly person could really go out of the way to help you. The spiritual energies are very high, so you must do Surya Namaskar 12 rounds every day to ensure that you channelize these energies appropriately, and also take care of your expenditure. Spend time and think about saving. Spiritually, it is an excellent time period for you, and at the same time, any foreign journeys, foreign travel could bring some good results. Sun is aspecting your 6th house by the 7th aspect of desire. Sun demands that you bring in a sense of consistency in your daily life and be committed to that consistency. Increase your spiritual quotient and channelize your energies appropriately. Please take care of your digestive system and your sleep. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. So what is happening? Sun is entering the sign of Cancer and is going to stay in the sign of Cancer till mid of August. You can read this from your ascendant sign for physical manifestation, and at the mental level, how you need to deal with emotions, you can read this from your moon sign. This transit of Sun or Surya is happening in the 11th house, and here it will be conjoined your Lagna Lord Mercury. Sun and Mercury will be forming a Buddha-Aditya Yoga in the 11th house. Buddha-Aditya Yoga works very well in the 11th house, and this Mercury is going to go retrograde or Vakri. So there is a greater possibility that either some of your old friends may return, or you might have a reunion with your old friends, old pals, old colleagues, and people who you like to network with. You would probably take part in networking events. You will make some group plans. That situation will revive. You could also have some ego issues, ego clashes with your friends, some communication issues with the wider social network as well. So whenever you post anything on social media and you interact with people online, just be careful and do not end up venting out your emotions. This is a word of caution. You will think of long-term goals, long-term planning and your networking strategy, because Sun and Mercury both are aspecting your 5th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So any thinking that you do should be a little bit long-term. with very clear goals, objectives in terms of what you're trying to achieve through your long-term networking strategy. Make sure that you spend enough time to resolve any misunderstanding that is created with your friends. This could be driven by your ego, so please keep your ego aside. While communicating with others, you could face some technological issues, some glitches while working on systems. If you are in a technical domain, please be mindful of the fact that you're likely to face some technological issues because Mercury is looking back at your 10th house while it is retrograde. So it wants you to re-evaluate and refresh your energies at work and make sure that communication is the key in building and resolving any relationship issues and at the same time strengthening those relationships for you. Sun does very well in the 11th house. It is a good placement. This is the house of gains, your wider social network. Of course, your expenditure is going to increase, but when expenditure increases, so does the income. Use mantra-based remedy. A Vishnu mantra could be very good for you, and that could be Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, which is a 12 akshar or Dwadash akshari mantra, and he's going to protect you. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs. So what is happening? Sun on 16th of July is making a transit in sign of Cancer, the very watery emotional sign of Cancer, compassionate sign of Cancer, which falls in your 10th house. This is where Sun gains directional strength or is Digbali. From a physical point of view, you must read this from your ascendant. At the mental level, dealing with your emotions and mindset, you can read this from your moon sign. Sun is a fiery planet. So when fire and water comes together, it creates smoke. It creates a calm environment as well. So you would want to reflect on your career direction because this Sun is conjoined with Mercury. Mercury is the significator of the 10th house and Sun gains directional strength in the 10th house. So both of them are in an excellent dignity, especially for the first few days of this transit. So you would reflect back, reconnect with your career related decisions. Sun is your 11th lord of gains, your wider social network, your friends, and of course fulfillment of your work. Your consumption of work is also seen from the 11th house. Certain opportunities that are linked to your work may return. Some people that you worked with in the past who hold an authority, maybe someone who was your boss, your manager, these people might return or try to reconnect with you, or it could be a very good time for you to reconnect with those people who you worked with in the past. Make sure that you spend enough time to clarify your image in the outer world. Your self-leadership voice, that has to be driven by authority, yes, little bit of ego, but good ego, and clear communication, because you're likely to have some sort of ego clashes with the current authority or some influential people that you're dealing with in your life. Do not rush into work decisions. Avoid quick decision making and make sure that you think through because your decisions could go wrong. Sun and Mercury, both of them are aspecting your 4th house by the 7th aspect of desire. Now, this aspect is pretty good because it wants you to create a sense of balance between your work life and your personal life. It wants you to purify things related to your home and declutter your workspace and also your home, your house. In case you work from home, make sure that your surroundings are neat, tidy and clean, and you spend enough time to declutter your workspace, and at the same time make sure that it is presentable. You must look at strengthening Venus. So worship goddess Lakshmi, Durga, Shakti in order to maximize this transit. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant. At the mental level, to deal with your emotions, you will read this from your moon sign. Sun's transit now is happening in your 9th house of Bhagya, fortune, long journeys, higher education, spiritual education. Your father figure or some guru or a teacher is also seen from the 9th house. It's a very important house. Sun is the secondary karaka or the significator of the 9th house because it represents lineage, it represents dharma and also father. So from that perspective, it is a comfortable position for Sun. Sun is the one who rules your 10th house of actions in the society, your work, your profession, what you do in order to sustain and survive yourself and your loved ones in this world. Now Sun is going to be making a conjunction with Mercury, forming a Budh Aditya Yoga in your 9th house of higher education. So your belief system is seen in the 9th house. So because Mercury will go retrograde, so you will rethink, re-evaluate your belief system. It is quite possible that you might deviate from your path of righteousness. You might momentarily stop believing in your dharma. So you need to be careful and stick towards the path of righteousness, your belief system, your religion, your dharma. So you could have some philosophical change. If it's a philosophical change, it is good, right? Education pursuits could be good for you. Those who are in academics and of course going for higher education, travel related to higher education could bring some beneficial results. It is very ideal for you to do some sort of a written exercise, write about spiritual knowledge or some academic related knowledge or education. This could be quite a favorable time because both Sun and Mercury are aspecting your 3rd house where we see written communication from and the use of your hands. So journal, because your 9th axis is quite active, you could go on journeys. If you go on journeys that are very well connected with you at a spiritual level, this could bring some sense of relief and calmness in your life. You must connect with people with authority or your father or some father figure or a mentor in order to clarify your doubts. Make sure that you get the right guidance. If you're traveling or if you're starting a new line of work or if you're discussing any sort of paperwork, you could expect some delay. You could expect some miscommunication. You could expect some unnecessary efforts when it comes to dealing with paperwork. So this is where you have to be little bit careful. Focus on strengthening your Lagna Lord Mars. Make sure that you look up to Mars and do any remedies related to Mars. This could be a simple Vishnu mantra that will take care of any Mercury related concerns as well, and I wish you the very best. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, to deal with your emotions, you will read this from your moon sign in terms of your manasthiti. Suryadev now is going to be entering your 8th house of longevity, transformation. Spirituality is also seen from the 8th house because this is one of the moksha trine. 4, 8, 12 is the moksha trine, and we see sudden ups and downs, sudden transformation. Your secrets, hidden desires are seen from this house. Places that are across the seas are also seen from the 8th house. Sun is your 9th house ruler. It is your Bhagyesha. So it's a very important planet for you. So when Sun makes a transit 12th from its lordship, it is a loss of Bhagya, loss of fortune. So of course, momentarily, you do not need to rely on fortune, but you need to rely on free will. You need to rely on your actions because your action will speak louder. This Sun will be conjoined with Mercury, together making a transit in your 8th house, forming a Budh Aditya Yoga. So any learning related to research kind of things or field could be quite good for you because you will reflect with depth at the emotional level and also with regards to your work related matter. So any transformation that comes to you, it's not going to be very easy, but at the same time you will try to be consistent with the efforts that you make in terms of this transformation. There's a greater sense of insight that you need to have in relationship because this time period brings a strong relationship karma. Fulfillment of relationship is seen from the 8th house because this is second from your 7th house. So you have certainly a relationship karma where you must look at strengthening and having good ties, making sure that you're very clear in terms of your communication because the retrograde Mercury is looking back at your 7th house. If you have any inheritance related issues, there could be some movement but some unnecessary paperwork that you will have to be involved in. You will witness psychological patterns which could create mood swings, which could create shifting tendencies or fickle mindedness. You're not sure about something, you're confused. There are 10 things that are going on in your mind, but you're not sure what you need to do. While other people will come to take advice from you, which will further add to this confusion. So avoid any impulsive financial decisions where money is involved. Make sure that those decisions are well thought over. Avoid quick decision making. Make sure that you think through and then decide. And you're likely to become secretive during this time. And if it is in the good interest of yourself, it is fine. But as long as it does not create a misunderstanding with other people, this is where you have to be careful. look up to your Lagna Lord Jupiter and strengthen Jupiter by using a Shiva mantra. A very simple Shiva mantra for you could be Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya, and he is the one who will guide you in the right direction. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign in terms of results. At the mental level, dealing with your emotions and your manasthiti, you will read this from your moon sign. So what is happening? Sun is now entering your 7th house of Jaya Bhava. It is the Jaya Bhava which represents peace and also war. It represents your spouse, your relationship, marriage, harmony, your attitude towards the outer world of people, things and events and how you deal with it. It's a weak position for Surya because it likes to rise in the eastern direction, which is Lagna, and it is a significator of Lagna. Western direction is where the sun sets. So momentarily it's a little bit of a weak disposition. And sun will be conjoined with Mercury, who also does not feel comfortable in the 7th house because Mercury is like a prince. He doesn't like marriages, or probably he doesn't like such kind of events in life. Mercury is going to go retrograde. So this is an ideal time for you to reconnect with people, reconnect with past relationship. So it will look back, it will help you look back into your past acquaintances, relationship, partnerships, and of course potential collaborations that you could make from a business point of view and also in terms of relationship. Certain people will resurface. You will encounter maybe those who you were in a relationship with previously. It's a greater chance. It is also a very good time to reflect in your conversations with your spouse or your current partner and make sure that you avoid any ambiguity or lack of clarity here, because this could cause confusion, some sort of misunderstanding that could be detrimental towards your relationship or also towards your business partnership. So you have to weigh in your decision. There could be ego issues with your partner, there could be miscommunication, so you have to avoid ego, stay humble, practice humility, and at the same time resolve any differences that have been created and any grievances. Sun demands you to burn all the negative influence of the 7th house, which is ego in your relationship, ego with other people. Sun is aspecting your ascendant by the 7th aspect of desire, and so is Mercury. Both of them are doing that. And they want to improve your personality in terms of your leadership and your communication, ensuring that you bring in clarity in communication. So from a relationship point of view, not a very great month in terms of dealing with these energy. There will definitely be a lot of focus here in terms of improving communication. Mercury is looking back at your 6th house. So the more you focus on your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis to help you channelize your decisions in the right direction, it is going to be much better for you to manage these energies. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. At the physical level, you should read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, in terms of dealing with your emotions, you can also read this from your moon sign. So Sun, Surya Dev, who is your 7th lord, who rules the Jaya Bhava, peace and also war, your spouse, relationship, your approach or attitude towards the outer world of people, things and event, all those people who are opposite to you. Now this Sun is going to be making a transit in your 6th house of deaths, diseases, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your health and vitality. And this house also represents intelligence and growth because this is one of the Upachaya Bhavas. Sun, from a placement point of view, does very well in the 6th house. It helps to overcome enemies. It helps to kill your own ego and stay humble, stay grounded. This Sun will be conjoined with Mercury, who is again a Karaka Graha for you. Mercury is a Karaka Graha for you, and both of them are forming a Buddha-Aditya Yoga. Mercury will also go retrograde. So it is a great time to reflect and review your habits, particularly your diet and what you eat, what you consume, your daily routine, and try to bring in a sense of consistency in your daily routine. See, the only remedy that you need for the next 1 month is to rise early and make sure that you have some sort of morning routine that will set the tone of the day. Otherwise, it is going to be a very challenging transit for you. You could have some health issues, you could have some digestive issues. There is too much of fire that is burning, and it's a water element, but at the same time, Cancer is water element, but at the same time, you need to ensure that you keep yourself hydrated. Some old or past health issues can reappear. or can have. So you have to be a little bit careful. Some issues related to your job from the past can reappear. On a brighter side, some jobs that you applied in the past and you're still waiting to hear, now you could see some development or something that re-emerges which is very well connected to your past. There could be some sort of communication gap at your current work, with your current job, that could create a sense of confusion and that could bring some opposition as well at work. So you have to be a little bit careful, but with grace, with poise, with confidence and your leadership potential, you will be able to overcome all that kind of competition. To channelize these energies, I will recommend a Shadakshari or a 6-syllable mantra, that is Om Vishnave Namah, in order to channelize these energies and making sure that the Buddha-Aditya Yoga works in favor for you. Sun is going to be aspecting your 12th house by the 7th aspect of desire along with Mercury. So this is activating your 6-12 axis. Spiritually, it is very good. Therefore, I say the best remedy for you is 30 minutes of spiritual discipline with consistency in the morning. That will set the tone for the day and that will ensure that you're able to channelize your energies and stay consistent with whatever you do over the next few weeks. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. At the physical level, you would read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, in order to deal with your emotions, your mindset, you can also read this from your moon sign. Sun or Surya now is going to be entering your 5th house on 16th of July until 16th of August. It is going to be making a transit in your 5th house. It is a powerful transit and a position for Sun because Sun naturally rules the 5th house. So it's in a comfortable position. 5th house represents your future. We see children from this house, unconditional love, positional success. This is one of the Rajya Bhavas or the house that represents kingdom or king-like success. So from a point of view of reaching greater heights or position, this house and the Lord plays a very important role. Though Sun is your 6th Lord, he rules daily routine, debts, diseases, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. He also rules your job. So it is time for you to shine at your job and of course, reflect in terms of love matters, romanticism and relationship because Sun will be conjoined with Mercury and Mercury is going to go retrograde in the 5th house. Time to reflect regarding your past love, creative pursuits, creative projects, and at the same time, you need to reconnect with children. And in case you don't have any children, you must do remedies to support children, to maybe sponsor education of a child or do some sort of donations. Best is to donate stationery to schools that need and of course to those children who need anything related to education, and stationery is quite simple to donate. You might also look at having a lot of insights into your heart. You would probably drive your decisions based on your heart and not your mind because this is truly what is emotional for you and a greater sense of connect that you will have. In romantic relationships, there could be some sort of confusion as well. There could be some sort of miscommunication that you have to deal with during this time. You could be dramatic when it comes to your emotions. So at the emotional level, you have to be a little bit careful over the course of next 4 weeks. Sun and Mercury, both of them are aspecting your 11th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So it is your time to rise and shine because your 5 and 11 axis is pretty active. Make sure that you stay in your comfort zone because Mercury is looking back at your 4th house. It wants you to also focus on your hobbies, your interest, but at the same time, both of them want to focus on how you can create an increase in your income. So for wealth creating opportunities through job, through work, through daily routine, it is quite a positive time period for you. It is quite a good time period for your mother as well in terms of wealth creating opportunities or from a financial point of view. You must use mantra based remedies. A simple Panchakshari mantra could be very good for you, that is Namah Shivaya, in order to channelize these energies and in order to maximize your creative quotient and take good charge of your emotional thinking. So friends, this was yet another unique video on Sun's transit in the very emotional, compassionate sign of Cancer. I hope and believe this transit helps us conquer our fear, increase our spiritual quotient and build a greater connect with the wider audience, with the wider public. Stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.